I mean, people love the memes from Bjergsen's stream, but it has to be his ear. There it is. TSM gonna have some front-to-back team fights set up for themselves. And Clutch Gaming need to get that Skarner first pick value out of Lyra. It has been so good for them all year long. By far his best champion, most played, most successful. And now, when they need it most, it's gonna have to be a victory, or else TSM are making their way to Worlds.
Yeah, Lyra, though, I believe sitting at 14-4 on the champion, throughout this split, throughout playoffs, so it has been, incredibly good on this champion here. And yeah, I mean, I just think TSM, when you're looking over at their late game, that is so terrifying. Their team fight with the powerful front line of the Sejuani and the Aatrox, great engage here from Rakan, powerful DPS in the backline from the Azir and the Xayah. Feels like they're going to be set up incredibly well unless Clutch can pull off, some sort of incredible combo with the Gnar, with the stolen Sejuani ult, and these types of things.
We're about to head into game 4. Clutch Gaming has planted the seed of the reverse sweep in TSM's mind. They know everything about it, and they would love to make it happen against TSM. We'll see if Clutch can do it, or if TSM is hungry enough to find themselves back on the world stage, or does Lyra pull Clutch Gaming into a game 5 with this 4 Skarner pick. It should be an exciting one. Each game back and forth, as you said previously for that last game, it was a bit of the slowest one as teams continue to realize the result that's going to happen now after these games. You play not to lose instead of playing to win at this point, because things can get scary throughout the game.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I think teams can fall into, and you have to be very careful when you are playing that mindset, because when you're playing not to lose, you can essentially be giving up too many things, ceding too much ground, giving over too many jungle camps, and putting yourself in a position where then when you are forced to fight, you're not in a position to actually win that. So will be interesting, and we do see Ocean will be the first dragon there, so pretty high priority, always put on that first Ocean dragon. So going to be excited to see which team can actually get priority down around the bottom side, because Clutch did not draft to actually play to this Ezreal Tahm Kench lane. They drafted to kind of leave this alone and have success elsewhere. And I'm interested to see if they will change up their game plan whatsoever because of this Ocean.
And honestly, I think that both teams are going to be farming very heavily in the beginning here. Both Sejuani and Skarner going to be focusing on fast clearing camps, then looking for maybe an opportunistic opening around mid lane or possibly around top lane, but all of these lanes should be able to handle themselves. And I think these junglers are going to focus on getting their camps to respawn as quickly as possible to get to those level 6 ultimates where you can actually make a difference in some of those lane matchups.
Definitely plays to the TSM and Clutch style. As soon as you get ults, you hit that R button and get into the fight. See the slow going early game. We'll see who can get the better of it as we get your lovers duo bot lane versus the Ezreal Tahm Kench here on the other side. Cody-san gonna feel pretty good on the Ez. We thought it was just the Kai'Sa he would initiate fights with, but we saw him going face first into TSM last game with arcane shifts, showing them that it could be done. The fights were messy, but man, it seems that that is promoting Clutch's style right now.
Big shouts as well as he gets the Mystic shot threaded through the range minions for some harassment. Keep your eyes if he gets that sly sack of gold. But a lot of this early game, again, is going to be, Huni trying to push in Broken Blade, using the range advantage of mini Gnar. You spam out your boomerang. But while you're doing this, you're not focused mostly on the damage you're dealing to Aatrox. It's mostly on warding him off of the minions and turning around for those last hits. Does miss one right there. He goes for it. And Broken Blade is trying to make him miss another one.
Yeah, it is interesting to see that he did end up going fleet footwork here. I wonder if he was expecting perhaps the Aatrox to take Comet, as you do sometimes see in these melee versus ranged matchups, similar to kind of how Camille plays that out. And in those cases, you often need the extra sustain from that keystone. But seeing that it is Conqueror, this is kind of more the brawly type, less about the poke. Something like PTA could have been more effective, but either way, you're at least healing up as you pull ranged minion aggro when you're harassing him, so you're going to be kind of sustaining off that.
Also, it could signal Huni wants to go for the split push Frozen Mallet style Gnar, because if you get the little bit of move speed off of something with your footwork, then you can get into range with your Frozen Mallet, continue to harass in a side lane, and does make Gnar extremely good in those situations, trying to chase a single person down. Look at him just whittle away at Broken Blade under the turret, denying so much CS to the tower.
I think we did have a bit of that going on versus FlyQuest. When they switched the lanes up, we saw Huni build in that Frozen Mallet against the Karma top. So he could be doing that again.
And kind of what I was looking at, full clear of both jungles for both junglers. Sejuani and Skarner just want to get their camps respawning as quickly as possible to get to those level 6, to get to those Predator ganks that we know for these two. And in the meantime, it is just farm trade. Only big difference is that top lane. Huni trying to take advantage of this time that he knows he has on Gnar, try and get an edge over the Aatrox, because it will even out here for Aatrox later.
It's got to feel good for the junglers. 4 minutes, no rush. Okay, we're cool with that. Stay out of my jungle. Whoa, Infernal Chains tears back the Mega Gnar.
Conquer proc
He's
2.
not feeling good right now. He should be able to get out of this one, though. I was waiting for the wallop to come back. Broken Blade on the slow chase. No boots, no nothing, but that is a hell of a lot of damage for just Doran shields to start off level 4.
Yeah, that is a nice trade there from Broken Blade, and Huni just waiting a little bit too long to actually top out.
Predator?
Possibly one more lick. Hesitated there for a moment. Wasn't the full play, so they decided to go off. He's going to roll that up for his mid lane to see if anything works after Shrine.
Yeah, not able to really find anything there. You know, but again, back to those jungle camps. Chickens have respawned. You can go right back over here. And they are going to have this ward that Huni placed up on the top side, spotting out Spica back to those Krugs, clearing that out. So, you know, full information really on both junglers as Lyra shows bottom side, Spica spotted out on the top side.
Few Dorans for Bjergsen, wants to stay healthy in the mid lane. May expect a little bit of love from the rest of Lyra and the team as 6 hits. And we see that damage coming through with the Dark Seal and Demonte's Corrupting Potion and some boots to start off.
So very big difference already in this game. Instant teleports from Clutch back to lane here. Huni and Cody Sun both using them to get back to lane to start farming earlier. Meanwhile, Sven and Broken Blade both walk all the way back to lane, preparing for that possible Ocean Dragon fight that we talked about. Everybody will have their global available, so Broken Blade can teleport down. Meanwhile, Huni cannot, and it's hard for him to interrupt too if he's not close to Mega.
Yeah, and really then your job becomes as Huni, keep him locked under his turret. If he's going to TP, you need to make him lose something for it. You need to have him losing turret plates. You know, have him losing a lot of farm and experience. Otherwise, you know, TSM is just put in too easy of a position. And Spica may just be starting this up right now. His bot lane has them shoved in. They have TP advantage, and it's on to the Ocean Dragon. Is spotted, so we'll see. Can Clutch actually do anything about this?
Yeah, that's the signal I was talking about. Teleport is up, so then you get your deep control wards, and that starts up the Dragon for TSM. Looks like it's convergence. Huni's walking all the way down the river, and they see Gnar over this ward. So Huni's walking halfway down is enough to say that they don't have enough DPS to finish off that Dragon this early in the game.
And he didn't actually head back to top lane, so they're going to actually commit to this. They're going for Bjergsen here.
And first divide through, Bjergsen and Demonte using that ultimate now as it's going to be Broken Blade coming in with his teleport. That was the discrepancy we saw before, and TSM can get to these fights. Lyra just short on a Predator Flash Impale, and it looks like this one will fizzle out as well.
I mean, Clutch are going to very likely start up the Dragon, though. Otherwise, you don't bring Huni all the way down here. He would have walked back up to top lane when they saw them pull off the Ocean, so Clutch are going to commit to it.
I would say TSM have a possibility of answering because Bjergsen goes back to base, but he's got his teleport as well.
Here's the pull. It's going to be onto one. They do get Sven. Can he get all the way back to safety? They flash onto him as well, and now it's going to be the kill coming in from Vulcan. Here comes the teleport. Bjergsen was the only one with that left as Spica is running down. It's going to be Broken Blade still farming out mid lane, so these are the only TSM members you're getting out of this fight. It looks like they're able to stop any more from happening.
And Clutch get the first blood after all of that. TSM teleporting right back out, though. Sven is alive and returns to the scene of the crime. In the end, TSM are going to start up the Dragon once again. I think that's all that Clutch have.
Yeah.
Demonte's got teleport. No, he could teleport in. They could contest again.
He's coming through. It's going to be pretty damaged. Falcon's going to try to get in there as well. Does he have Unsealed Spellbook? No, he has Guardian, so he cannot smite it down for the team. An unfortunate situation there. But CG wants to see what they can get now on the stragglers at TSM. Grand Entrance gets Smoothie out on the exit, and the Mystic Shots are following up. But here is the rest of the team of Clutch, and they just have slivers of health bars. They're attacking up for TSM. They finally grab one as Sven goes down.
Yeah, they do get a kill on the way out there, but a pretty split call. I mean, Lyra was on Raptors and used his smite, as the rest of his team is actually going to contest the Dragon, so very clearly he's on a different page than the rest of the squad, and they are lucky to at least get a kill back there, but a pretty crazy series of minutes as we had both top laners just sitting down in mid lane and all this fighting down around that Dragon as both teams don't want to give up that early Ocean.
Yep, keep track of all your teleport timers because that is going to be important. We've got a minute and a half on the Rift Herald spawning next, and it will be a similar scenario as neither of these teams has been willing to just concede one of these objectives.
And if they do decide to go to that Rift Herald, you know, we could actually see Clutch then having the TP advantage, right? You can swap your bot lane top, bring Huni down to that bottom lane, and his teleport is going to be up a lot sooner than Broken Blades.
Up towards the top, they do swap those lanes. Bottom lane's getting crushed in, though. Broken Blade needs to pick that CS up quick so he can get his experience back. And we'll see what happens here as core items start getting into the inventories, let's say rest speed items. As we get back to this switched up lane, the Australian lane, some pastry would call it. It's 9.5 minutes in. It could be a good focus for Clutch to get down on this Rift Herald, being able to push Smoothie back, having advantage now, and able to get forward wards mean they could have ideal positioning on the objective.
Spica does get the smite there, I believe.
Yep.
Able to get his red buff. Lyra was trying to kill the ward and turn around for a smite fight. Not going to happen, though. And here comes that Rift Herald I was talking about. 15 seconds upon arrival. Since Lyra didn't use his smite, he's got plenty of charges, but Spica had 2, so they'll be ready as well. And already on your mini-map, you can see Aatrox walking up for it. So both teams going to try and make a play on it.
Yeah,
Shurima shuffle there.
I do think that Huni, you know, they're leaving it on the bot side, so they want to wait until teleport is up, right? And TSM now has this window before the teleport is up to try to force it if they pull up the Aatrox, but with Broken Blade going down to the bottom side again, you know, that window is now closing, and Clutch can wait about 15 seconds, then start this up themselves, knowing they will have that man advantage.
Lyra now onto that Herald. They have pulled it out of the pit just a little bit, so it's creased around the wall. Now it's lost vision on TSM, so they have to come all the way around and force themselves into the fight. Great positioning by Clutch to now get TSM in that choke, but they have to be careful how many of TSM can come over that slight bit of the wall with Arctic Assault, with a few of the ultimates. Lyra now steps up with Predator on to scare them off as he flexes his muscles, and this is going to be Clutch's Rift Herald finally in the 4th game.
So there was an interesting fight that we could just see on the mini-map there, and it was between Huni and Broken Blade. Broken Blade tried to get back to the minions on bottom side, but Huni pushes him out of the river, and this gives him the inside track on that highway straight up to Rift Herald. So he gets there first, and they're able to push TSM off of the Rift Herald.
Huni just playing a little boomerang game with Broken Blade on the bot side. Try to get that hyper damage in, but he won't connect the 3rd shot just yet. 1-0 for Huni, 87 CS to 78 of Broken Blade. Both of these solo laners could easily provide the fight win for their team in their current position and how they've been scaling up throughout the game. And it looks like Spica may pay a little love for the bot side here for Huni.
Yeah, they are going to look for it potentially here, but he is pretty far back. Unless Huni actually goes aggressive onto Broken Blade, I don't know if they can make this happen.
This is kind of risky. If Spica shows on bottom side, you can make a Rift Herald play on top side of the map for Clutch because you want to get that money out of the turret plates, and it is going to be that. They're going to brute force on top side. Plenty of money here to be had off of turret plates. Recall from TSM bottom lane. I mean, they might even burn through the whole thing here.
And Lyra being forward means he was probably saying, yeah, I don't see Spica yet. They know they have a clear take on this top side. They're going to use True Shot Barrage as well for a bit of that vision across the map and do a bit of damage to the minion wave in the bot side.
And they will be able to get this entire turret. The bottom lane not even going to be able to contest as Lyra is just kind of zoning them off. They could even try to escort this in for a little bit of chip damage on that 2nd turret here if they want to. Lyra still has flash and ult available, so you know TSM with just 2 members here have to be pretty respectful of that fact.
Sven there with Smoothie. Bjergsen and the rest of the team look like they could be rotating up towards the Raptor area to continue in this fight. Bjergsen's Quicksilver Sash, 2nd item coming off the cooldown now. He knows how imperative it is to stay alive through the hands of Lyra. A lot of damage now onto the Lyra rather. As I talk about him and forget it's him getting attacked, and he goes down. as they're able to find him. Quicksilver Sash not needed there.
That could be a big pick for TSM because the Dragon is available. This is Cloud Drake. They could get an objective afterwards. With this pick on the jungler, there's no smite for Clutch Gaming. It's very early in the game, so the death timer is very short, but this should be a conversion for TSM. They talked about the NLSS last game. Some of the picks TSM were getting, they didn't get objectives after the fact, but this time around, good reaction. They immediately traverse into the Dragon, and even though Lyra's back up, I think they get it. TSM gonna have full Dragon control in this game, despite being down in gold. Oh!
That one makes you a little bit nervous when you see that flying.
As the jungler, you're like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, but still nicely played there from TSM. It was a good pick on the top side. And I think that Lyra had a little bit of overconfidence, perhaps due to the fact that Tom Kent was behind him. But Smoothie played it well, utilizing his engage onto the Skarner, but then going forward with the quickness and actually standing between Vulcan and Lyra. So if Vulcan were to try to come and save him, he would just be getting charmed up and die as well. And TSM are going to need to have quality engages like that from Smoothie, who will be the primary form of engage in a lot of these team fights.
Down towards the bot. A little bit of focus to the mid and bot lane now, as well as the final 2 turrets. Clutch wants to find 5 turret plates for them, catapulting a bit of that gold into their pockets. We're not seeing too many core items just yet. That Black Cleaver is finished up for Huni, which is absolutely huge. You can see him kind of running Broken Blade around the jungle right now as they tango towards the top side. But this bottom lane focus is about to get Spica's help as well. A little bit of a slow play from Clutch. I don't think they plan to do anything here as the teams are waiting for the next objective to come up.
And that next objective is going to be another Infernal. We've had a ton of them throughout this series, so another big one. 3 Infernals in the last 2 games each, so we'll see how many we're going to get in this one. But that Infernal, very likely, as you're saying, Riv, is going to be a really big point that these 2 teams do want to contest. And right now, for Clutch, it is just about Huni pushing out side lanes and then trying to utilize that pressure to get vision, to move around the map and threaten other lanes. And they're feeling pretty good about that, but this early QSS on Bjergsen, I think, has been very intelligent, and Bjergsen is now sitting in a position where it becomes really difficult to actually attack the Azir, and without first attacking the Azir, you're never going to be able to kill down that turret.
Oh, Predator Zoomies coming in from Lyra. Will he be able to get the Impale down? Oh, he clicks over onto the map part, so it makes him path downward. They're going to lose their top laner. Now Lyra actually wants to exit stage right on this one. It's not going to happen. The curtain may hit him right in the face on the way out. Gets a quick stun on the Broken Blade. Spica doesn't have to follow up damage. Spica's got one more shot in him, and he turns off, and that's going to be aggro now on a Broken Blade. They may have juggled this one a bit too much. Demonte misses that first dash forward, and he looks for the grab. He is going to find Broken Blade just for a moment, though. Steals the ult. World Ender's going to go down, so he's going to get a bit of help back on that one if he can get these kills, but they're not coming through just yet. Possible one of the Kingslayer here. Locked up by the Sejuani as Speak comes through with the auto attacks from Broken Blade, and what a back and forth to leave with a sliver of health.
He's coming back, though. He TP'd in. He's going to get this kill on Broken Blade, probably.
Just going to be a few. Boomerang goes towards the top as they think they can get Broken Blade as he exits toward the middle. Minions are going to give that
he missed again.
Infernal chains hits, but he's going to hop forward, and here Broken Blade now with just a bit of health left. That's the shutdown for Huni, so he can pick up more gold.
Even though it ends in the shutdown for Huni, that last minute was all TSM. This is so big for them. Clutch Gaming go for this pick on the Broken Blade, but they have no vision on the Sejuani until he shows up now. And Broken Blade just absolutely smashes Huni there in the 1v2, knowing that Speak is coming for the secondary kill onto Lyra. This is where it gets a little dicey as they stay a very long time on the dive, and the teleport does come in. Broken Blade gets the second kill there as well, though. But bottom lane made a play at the exact same time. Look at that. Smoothie immediately answers. Even though Vulcan eats up Cody-san, he's so low on the way out that Bjergsen's teleport is enough to grab the double. So it's basically a cross-map pickup for TSM, winning the fights on both sides, and a lot of summoner spells used for Clutch as well.
Especially those kills going into Bjergsen's pocket is so big. Completing the Nashers now. Really going to be sitting at quite a good spot here. Huni looking, though. He does have Mega Gnar, and they're in this corridor.
Huni is throwing himself to TSM right now with that ultimate up. They're almost there. Impale on his Pika. The damage is not following, though. They have different targets that they're focusing on the side of Clutch Gaming. They still are able to take down
Broken
Pika.
Blade
And there
from
goes Smoothie. Broken Blade's going to be in quite late on this one, and it seems like TSM already wanted out of the fight. 1 or 2 licks to stick here, and he can be caught up, but Vulcan did not have Tongue Lash. Infernal Chain's not grabbing him back either, and such a back and forth for every fight. You almost don't know when the fight is gonna end.
What happened there for Spica? He turns around to stun the Gromp, then throws out his ultimate to the side, goes down. That's a pretty big pick for Clutch Gaming. Right after they were celebrating on the side of TSM, here they are going to push heavily onto Cody-san, though.
Seems like TSM always has a way to find themselves on the upper part of a fight, even if they were the one losing members. Mid's going to go down. Huni does have a focus on bot here as Mega Gnar. So as he changes out, he'll be able to get that turret down and push a bit forward, but we still got action in mid.
Yeah, the Infernal is spawning, so TSM is going to go right to it. And remember, Mega Gnar is cooling down now for Huni, so it's very difficult to actually team fight without this. He's got to wait for the cooldown, then charge up all his rage before he can really be much of a threat in this team fight. But Clutch have pushed TSM back for now. A lot of key ultimates kind of missing here, though. No Mega Gnar right now for Huni. No Skarner ultimate as well.
Yeah, they're out of there. It looks like Bjergsen heading top lane. That means no fight for TSM, and Clutch will pick up this Infernal.
Quite a few. Kind of fits the theme of the game for Clutch here.
All right,
See if they can
what is going on with
play
Spica
one
here?
more time.
He turns around, he stuns the Gromp, then he gets ulted into the wall, yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't catch that the first time through. That's just a straight up mistake.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's no reasoning for that.
Very good pick there by Clutch, though. You know, they jump in on the opportunity. They take down the enemy jungler. So that is a big strike right back, and they still have a very big gold lead to work with here. Now they've got the Infernal Drake on top of it. So basically back on game plan here for Clutch.
Yeah, and it does feel to me like that's a little bit of nerves. You're panicking, you're in the stun, you're trying to mash to use your Q to go away to the right side. Your cursor is still there, and then you're slamming ultimate, right? And this is something that certainly can happen. Spica does not have much stage experience whatsoever. You know, in last game, certainly had some mistakes. This time around in game 4, showing a bit of nerve. Says this is an incredibly important match, and he is the least experienced by a country mile.
Absolutely, and still being able to get his champions, he's kind of expected at that point to play a little bit better than average, I should say. So for him to kind of have that thought in his mind here coming into game 4, doesn't want to get reverse swept, he hasn't had the chance to be in this situation very much to understand how to fix it or just say, hey, this is the game, we're still fine. Hopefully the players around him, as we talked about before, world contenders have been on that stage are helping to ease that for Spica.
Now this is pretty interesting, seeing a Warmog second here from Huni. Very atypical, honestly, for the Gnar. And I'm not really understanding the idea behind it, other than, hey, if you trade really heavily, then heal back up, and you can threaten
Oh,
the
he's
tower.
going in.
He's going in.
Looks like he gets himself out of the Infernal Chains. It's a bit of a dance now until he takes the utmost of the damage, and there it finally comes through, but Cody-san and the rest of the team are here to fight. They're surrounded by TSM members, and Clutch has to work quick if they want to make this one come out on their side. Vulcan going low, throws down the gray health into the stasis, and now he's going to come out, hopefully staying alive. Flashes from the quick sweet
Sven
spot
is
of
low.
Broken Blade. Featherstorm comes up, and he's going to keep himself alive. Broken Blade with the Broman as he takes a shot there for his marksman. And now TSM is going to limp away from this one.
Get kind of dicey there, and you heard the big shout go up from the crowd when Huni went in for the 1v1 perceived there, and TSM were able to get the kill on him. But it could have been worse because Clutch were trying to arrive in time to help out Huni. With TSM getting the kill so quickly, they almost collected a few more here, but it is just going to end up with the 1 kill going over. But here's another look at how they pulled it off. You know, Broken Blade once again on the Aatrox. As soon as Spica is able to arrive, they finish off the kill, and then Lyra flashes for Broken Blade to try and get him under tower, but they don't have any damage backup.
Yeah, and part of the problem there is the minions were still alive. So he flashed to pull him under the turret, but there's no turret aggro going out. And this is back-to-back games where Huni has been kind of baited fairly easily by TSM. You know, that wasn't even a close fight whatsoever for him. It's not as though he was almost about to kill him. Broken Blade still had 100% HP. So, you know, Huni has to be a little bit more careful, and they're going for the play again. Broken Blade's just going to walk at him and say, oh, Huni, come get me. with Spica sitting behind you. So, you know, they're trying to play to these tendencies that Huni has, where he wants to outplay his opponent. He wants to go for these 1v1 fights where he feels so confident.
All right, the next level of that mind game is Clutch need to always have Lyra behind Huni so that if you try and bait our Huni, yes, he'll take the bait.
Baiting the baiter.
But we also have it. All right, not going to be the case this time, though. It's just Huni versus 2.
That Black Cleaver and Warmogs hopefully keeping him alive long enough for the rest of the team. That's the idea with the build, and now they're finally here. The cavalry has arrived, but stopped dead in their tracks by the icebox coming out of Spica. Lyra caught that one in the kisser. I do not think that Clutch Gaming is going to get too much of a grip on Dragon, but TSM's going to fight for it. That is for sure.
Yeah, it's like everybody in this game knows there's going to be a fight around Huni, so now everybody's jumping in. As soon as it starts out, everybody bottom lane. And this is being said with another Infernal coming up. So if you use your flash in one of these fights, if you use a big cooldown, we've only got 40 seconds left on the Infernal Dragon coming up.
Yeah, and that was the teleport out of Diamante to help bail Huni out of that. You know, after TSM had set up that play once again here. You know, Huni does have the Warmog, so he can obviously stay out on the map, so that is an advantage there from the build. And it's going to be about this mid lane control now. You can see that Clutch is trying to push this up. They will now head over towards that dragon, try to clear out vision from this area, and see if they can really set themselves up well for the second Infernal, which would be a really big advantage for them here. But, you know, it is really only 2 people who are heavily stacking AD and AP, the Ezreal and that Silas, so not as big as it is for some comps.
Vulcan standing tall right in the soldiers. He's got to be careful. Bjergsen has all 3 up, so he gets that attack speed buff for the current level he has on W. Huni dives in with a bit of a jump there to try and get a boomerang stop, and now they have Sundisk up in mid. Clutch Gaming, Diamante uses the Glacial Prison just to deter TSM a little bit more, see what else they can get. And they drop the second tier turret nicely. Now trying to engage onto TSM, smoothly to the back line. Grand entrance in the quick.
Oh, the
trying to trap them up. And a great job by Huni as he gets himself into position and spit out by Vulcan for more safety. The Sundisk is keeping TSM alive, but only for so long. It looks like Clutch wants to grab down one more time on the team, or at least go for the Infernal.
Yeah, TSM is able to kind of out-rotate their opponents there. Really nice use of the Sundisk to try to cut off Clutch and get that tier 2. But this late in the game, I'm not sure that I actually like that trade of a turret for the Infernal. I do think the Infernal becomes worth more when we're 25 minutes in. So TSM losing the kill and getting chunked out here.
And I think the initial idea is good from TSM, and they get the tower, but if the fight goes poorly like this for them, then they're going to lose the Infernal. Look at that engage into the back line. Huni knocks the whole team away, so then smoothly the Rakan is left with no one to jump back to because they've created just such a big separation, and that allows Clutch to finish off the extra kill and then earn themselves the dragon.
But something really cute I didn't actually spot in the initial play was that Lyra actually runs back and holds still so Huni can jump off of him for the little Goombasam for the engage there. So gave him the double bounce in the perfect position over the wall to try to get him in position for the Mega Gnar. So that's some nice little teamwork and communication there from that duo.
A top lane synergy coming in from those two of Huni and Lyra to make the plays happen. You can see the gold in the pockets of the players on the Rift right now. 10,000 gold currently in the hands of Cody Sun. He is the richest member on the map. You can thank Klepto for that as well a little bit as he picks the pockets of his opponents. 2 Infernal Drakes to the side of Clutch. That's working out for Vulcan, the Roman god of fire. It seems to just be kind of going with the whole team they have there in the bot lane. So maybe this game is aligning here for the side of Clutch to make sure they get a game 5. 2 kills for Diamante in that mid lane. The rest are spread out across the board. Side of TSM also 6 with 2 kills on Bjergsen. So we're definitely looking at those two to put up fights here. We haven't really seen them come out in the games. A lot of the AD carry play and a lot of top laner engages have been coming out of Huni.
I have really liked how Clutch consistently, every time Cody Sun is on Ezreal, is giving him double buffs. And the mid laner is not actually taking it. They're going for a play now on the side lane, looking potentially for Bjergsen here.
Oh, but he has a whole wall of people to defend for him. It's going to be a 3v3 quickly in the Krog area. Speak is going low, and he seems to be the first focus, but Broken Blade puts himself in there to be the next beat wall. And now Emperor's Divide slows the fight down so the soldiers can do their work, poking at Cody's son and the rest of Clutch Gaming as they head out of the fight. No minions are really in position for anybody to do anything around the map other than fight like we just saw.
Yeah, that was really dicey. It looked like Vulcan actually devoured Cody-san out of his Arcane Shift. I believe he was trying to Arcane Shift over the wall and got actually interrupted by the Tahm Kench Devour there. So certainly put him in a risky spot, but both teams do respond quickly and end up having to disengage.
All right, in the aftermath, TSM will clean up the minion waves for themselves. And we can see if they can push up some of this vision around Baron a little bit further, because Clutch are already investing a lot of time into this. Huni goes right back to the scene, clears out that ward, grabs Skarner Spire as well for Lyra, who did use Flash in the last one, but he'll have Predator coming right back up for himself. And this is going to have to be both teams relying on their front lines to create this space. Bottom side for TSM is pushed all the way to the turret, and those minions might even finish it off.
2 on Ocean Drake. That'd be great to have against an Azir if you're Clutch, or even TSM if you're fighting against Clutch. And we'll see what they can do. Pushing here, Sven, clean up nice minions. And they're gonna head towards the top side. 275 to 272 there, no real discrepancy in the CS. It's all coming down to the items you have now. A few summoner spells are down on each, but the priority ones coming up very soon to make this next fight pretty spicy.
All right, Clutch's next objective, push out this bottom wave with Damonte, who has the teleport coming up on the Sylas, and then make use of your control wards in Baron to get Lyra an easier pick with the Skarner. Meanwhile, for TSM, they're trying to keep up this vision around the main objective. They too can actually go, for an initiation on Clutch while they're split. In the time that it takes Damonte's teleport to go off, you can do a lot of damage. Bjergsen right now is scaling up with the Azir and should feel pretty confident since his flash will come up fairly soon and he's got that QSS.
And we're seeing it. This is the point in the game where more and more of those QSSs are coming through. A couple already completed. This null could be for one as well. I'm going to be interested to see where Sven goes here. Is it going to be towards a QSS next item or looking to complete a Zeal item? Because that really is going to be where that Xayah damage starts to ramp up quite a lot. But, TSM have a lot of farm, a lot of gold on their two primary damage dealers here, Sven and Bjergsen. So despite being behind, despite being down those Infernals, the Infernals are less effective in this game because it really is just amping Cody-san and Damonte. Not much AD has been bought up by the rest of the team. So, TSM still is in this game with a fighting chance, and it's going to come down to how can they execute in these team fights.
And breaking it down to the bare minimum for both, they need 3 turrets to get to the Nexus on either side with 1 inhibitor in that way. Mid lane has been taken all the way down to the base, so a very big fight could crack these bases. TSM on the cusp of returning to Worlds after a 2018 miss. And Clutch Gaming wanting to keep this series alive, so that dream is a possibility of Worlds.
Yeah, TSM has been kind of chasing this. They are trying to return to glory. They were so dominant in North America for so many years, 10 straight finals. They lost that. They missed out on Worlds, for the first time really last year. And now are opposing, looking like they want to try to go for an engage here. As soon as he's going to have that Mega Gnar expiring, and maybe TSM could look for a move.
Predator pops there. No full engage found though, so that is going to time out. TSM pull up the Sundesk to defend around mid lane as well. You have to fight over these minion waves because it's very dangerous to go walk in and try and get vision around this Baron. So you're trying to get vision off of pushing a minion wave up into enemy territory and use that as an area of safety to then spill into the river here.
Ocean goes down. That means they're going to have Lyra and Damonte into the fight quite quick, but TSM is positioning now to get that Baron side to make sure they can show Clutch Gaming into the river before anything happens on that side of the map. A little bit of clearing of the minions on the top by Bjergsen as no fight comes of the mid lane positioning.
Yeah, they're actually just going to start up Baron. They do have this Azir with Triple Soldier.
Ember
is down quick. But Huni's about to go Mega. This is dangerous.
Huni is almost on Mega Gnar. He throws the clock out to give TSM the time of day, and they're going to have to back off on this one. Baron's at half. Huni hops forward just to kind of get the aggro in, let him know he is not kidding. The rest of the team is going to head back to clear out the minions. They don't feel like TSM is going to start that Baron, but will allow them to tempt it again. It's like Clutch and TSM both want to tempt this, and they're going to go for it.
Yeah, TSM is starting up this Baron here. Spica's already really low, though. He's got to be careful.
Gotta watch out when those resistances are cut from fighting the Baron, as well as the damage that you're doing to it. Lyra's coming in. They get Spica, but that's a big impale on
Look
one
at
of the members.
Demonte behind!
Now they can get that smite down onto the Baron, but it's going to be the fight first onto TSM. Demonte looking for the perfect ultimate to take, as he does have hijack up, but it looks like TSM is just going to waltz out of this one. It's going to be a 32-minute Baron, but it's going down quite slow, and we'll see if TSM reconsiders, but I think not.
Slow and steady wins the race, Riv, and that is going to be a Baron for Clutch Gaming. Spica got so low on that Baron, it absolutely shredded him.
We doesn't really have anything if you look at it.
Yeah, I mean, it has a little bit of tanking is certainly all that additional health, but tanking the Baron did get hit by some of that poke there as well. TSM, it seemed like, as the Mega Gnar expired, it felt like they could go back in, but he's just getting hit by so many Mystic shots here from Cody-san. That is 3, 4, 5 in a row, as you're saying, and he's just getting tagged down. Lyra with all of that speed. Righteous Glory Predator zooms on in there and just focuses down that low HP jungler. TSM has no choice but to retreat from that point and gives up the easy Baron.
That was a fast little Scorpion there for Lyra at the end, and he had an easy job too, going in on the 20% HP Sejuani. Let's see what Clutch can actually do with this Baron. They are pushing against the Azir Xayah, but it seems like they should be able to have Huni consistently on the side wave, be able to push up the rest of the team. TSM setting up in a brush.
Facial Prison onto Lyra. If they can stop him, that's going to be huge. He's the one that created the play last time, but he is going to be safe for a quick second. He gets spit out. Looking for that damage coming in from the True Shot Barrage as Demonte is on the back. Hijack still available to use as Bjergsen's looking to kill Huni. Soldiers forward. Huni just gets the drop out. That's going to be the Morellos, not an Ignite, so Huni stays alive. Here comes Demonte. Glacial Prison in his hands. They're going to get one kill there, and he uses it to take down the rest of TSM. They're finding him under the turret now. Great shots coming in from Cody-san as his Mystic shots are finding every target.
Yeah, they're looking like they just want to keep pushing. Huni with that Warbox barely survives. He's back to full health, and they are looking to push for these Nexus turrets.
Absolutely insane play from Clutch Gaming here. They are going to have eyes on the prize. Only a few members of TSM are alive with Broken Blade and the Lovers Duo bot lane. Nexus turret number 1 is going down. Nexus turret number 2 in the rise, but they're going to be stopped up here. TSM on the Iron Lung for game 4, as they do have game point, but now it's going to be for both teams. Clutch Gaming come all the way back. Like I said, they planted the seed for the reverse sweep, and man, is it starting to grow.
Oh my goodness. Lyra survives with a sliver of health. Huni survives with a sliver of health. And the re-engage from Clutch shuts the door on game number 2.